You ever feel like you're constantly trying to sell people on an idea when you're just trying to grow your professional network? Well, today, we're going to break down a completely different way to do it. It's a low-pressure system inspired by the legend himself, Don Fila, and it's all about shifting from selling to simply sharing. And trust me, that one little change can make all the difference.
In this right here, this is the foundation for everything we're about to cover. See, the goal of a professional invitation isn't to teach or to convince or to sell. It's just to get someone to look at some information. That's it. Seriously, that is the entire goal.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll get into the right mindset, the core philosophy. Then we'll cover the nuts and bolts of the invitation itself. After that, the super important follow-up, and finally, how to close the loop with total confidence.
Okay, let's dive right in, because this first part is really the biggest mental shift you have to make. It's all about moving away from applying pressure and instead just sparking a little bit of curiosity.
Just look at this slide. On the left, you've got what so many people get wrong. They talk way too much, they try to explain every single detail, and they pressure you. But on the right, that's the professional approach. It's all about sparking curiosity, keeping it short and sweet, and just getting them to look. Our goal is to get you from the left side of this slide to the right side. So, with that new philosophy locked in, let's talk about the how-to of the actual invitation. And you're gonna see pretty quickly that less really is more. The process is just beautiful in its simplicity. Step 1, you grab their interest, and this should only take like 15 or 20 seconds. Step 2, if they're open to it, you send them the official materials, a video, a link, whatever it is. And then, and this is so important, you ask for their feedback or their opinion, not for a decision. So, for a friend, it might sound something like this. Notice how chill and low pressure that is? You just say what you're doing, you mention it's interesting, and then you ask a simple question. You put them completely in control. No hype, no pressure. And here's a great example of how you can tweak the language. For someone who's all about business, you use words like business model and smart contracts. You're speaking their language, but you're still not giving away all the details, just enough to get them curious.
Now, this is going to happen a lot. People will immediately ask for all the details, and the key is to always redirect them back to the media. You are not the expert explainer here. Your job is just to be the bridge that connects them to the professional tools that do all the heavy lifting.
All right, these are the big no-nos, the absolute cardinal sins of a professional invitation. If you do any of these things, you're pretty much killing the curiosity and damaging your own credibility. So let's just agree to never do these, okay? Remember, your only job is to get them to look.
Okay, so you've sent the info, you've sparked their curiosity. Now what? It's time for the follow-up. This is where a lot of people get nervous, but honestly, with the right approach, it can be the easiest, most powerful part of the whole conversation. This question right here is pure gold. It's probably the most powerful, non-confrontational question you can possibly ask. It's not a yes or no, it's like a thermometer. It gives you an instant, honest read on where they stand and tells you exactly what to do next.
And here's your cheat sheet for how to respond. If they're an 8, 9, or 10, awesome, you're good to go. But what about that tricky 5 to 7 range? This is your chance to shine. You just ask what would help get you closer to a 10. Now you're not a salesperson, you're a problem solver. And if they're below a 5, no problem. Respect it, thank them for their time, and move on. Simple as that.
So what if someone says they're just too busy? The absolute worst thing you can do is try to convince them they're wrong. The pro response is to just agree with them. I understand completely. This keeps the door open for the future, and more importantly, it saves the relationship.
Now, this is really interesting. When people bring up risk, the best thing you can do is be completely upfront about it. By leaning into their concern, you actually build way more trust than if you tried to dismiss it. You're not a salesperson minimizing the downsides. You're a consultant encouraging them to do their homework. And that builds massive credibility.
All right, let's get to the final step for those people who are genuinely interested. This is all about closing with confidence. And that means using what we call a soft close that's completely focused on building long-term trust.
This soft close is such a powerful technique. It lets you wrap up conversations without ever feeling like you're being pushy or salesy. You see, it's all about empowering the other person to make their own decision, and this little 5-step framework is your key to doing it right.
The difference here is night and day, right? The high-pressure close on the left just asks for a yes or no, but the soft close on the right, it offers a choice. It basically says, hey, you can keep learning or you can dip your toes in the water. What feels right for you? It puts them completely in the driver's seat.
Look, long-term success is never ever built on hype. It's built on a reputation for being clear, transparent, and honest. Following these principles, especially being willing to say, I don't know, or this isn't for everyone, is what makes people trust you for the long haul.
This one sentence is just incredibly powerful. It hands all the power and responsibility right over to them. It positions you as a guide who is confident in the information, not as a salesperson who's pushing for a result. And this might be the most professional thing you can say. When you remove all the urgency, it shows you're confident in what you have, and you respect their process. It just communicates strength and integrity.
So here's the bottom line. These two systems, the soft close and the credibility system, they work together. One helps people make a decision they feel good about, and the other makes sure they trust you no matter what they decide. It's how you create sustainable growth that's built on a foundation of respect. And really, this whole entire process comes down to how you answer this one question. You can try to win an argument in the short term, sure, but you will never build a strong, lasting team that way. Building a team takes a foundation of trust, and that's something you can only earn. You can never win it.